Ever had a Karen measure your mailbox and call 911 gate creaks? She stood there in her HOA polo phone in one hand, violation slip in the other. "She's trespassing," she screamed while my wife was just picking up our mail. The patrol lights flashed red across the driveway as the radio clicked. Lisa opened her badge case, calm as a still lake. "Deputy U.S. Marshal," the officer read. The air froze, so did Karen's smirk. "Paper stamp." "Next week," I said quietly. "The meeting won't go the way she planned." Sunday heat glazed the driveway when I stepped out with my coffee. Karen Duvall was already there, phone up like a badge of her own. "Dispatch." "I need police," she said, thumb on, call eyes fixed on my wife. "Female suspect at Silver Ridge on Willow Bend." "You're calling 911 on my wife," I said. Forgetting the mail, Lisa lifted her key, opened our box, and slid out a rubber-banded stack. "Ma'am, this is our address." "You're loitering," Karen said, chin high. "Step away from the mailboxes." "It's one mailbox," I said, pointing to the blue truck in our drive. "Ours." "I'm the HOA president," Karen announced as if that settled the whole West. "Safety is my duty." "Safety isn't harassment," I said. A yellow HOA notice fluttered on the post from last week, the corner peeled by sun. Text burned into my mind like an overlaid stamp. Received 09:14 a.m. Dispatch log 41207. Incident number RM 22250914. "Ma'am," Lisa said, calm as winter steel. "What exactly is the emergency?" Karen answered. An unknown woman refusing direction. "Known," I said. "Wife, Lisa Haynes." Sirens threaded the air, faint, then closer. Wind pushed heat along the curb. Somewhere a screen door clicked and held. A patrol cruiser eased to the stop. Lights rolled red-blue across stucco. "Morning," the officer said, stepping out. "Who placed the call?" "I did," Karen said, hand up like she'd won. "That woman is trespassing." Officer Lisa said evenly. "I'm off duty. I was retrieving mail." "She doesn't live here," Karen insisted. "I have her on video, many times." "We do live here," I said. 217, Willow Bend. "You waved at me Thursday, Karen. Names, numbers." The officer's pen scratched. "IDs, please," he said. "Absolutely," Lisa said. She opened a leather case and flipped it. The badge caught the sun clean, federal unmistakable. The officer leaned in, read, and nodded. "Thank you." "Fake," Karen snapped. "You can buy those online." Lisa kept her voice level. "Deputy U.S. Marshal. Off duty." "Do you need a second form?" "I'm good," the officer said. He turned to Karen. "Ma'am, what danger are we dealing with?" She ignored a directive from the HOA. Karen said, touching her lanyard like it was authority. "HOA rules don't supersede state law," he said. "You're taking her side?" Karen asked. "I'm taking the law," he said. Two neighbors slowed their morning walk to the speed of curiosity. Sprinklers hissed behind them, throwing arcs across perfect lawn. The cruiser's dashlight blinked steadily. In my head, another stamp landed. Received 09:17 a.m. "Officer, body cam, sync." "Ma'am," the officer said, gentle but firm. "Please step over to the curb. I'll collect statements." Karen stayed planted. "She frightened me," she said, pointing at Lisa. "For picking up mail?" Lisa asked. "We have protocols," Karen said. "This community values order, and 911 is for emergencies," Lisa said. "Misuse is a criminal matter." "We'll address it internally," Karen said. "The board meets tonight." "Great," I said. "Put the 911 call in the minutes." "Sir," the officer said, "let's keep voices low." "Of course," Lisa replied. "Officer, do you need my number for the report?" "Yes, please," he said. He took it along with my name and the address Karen already knew. "You can't just flash a trinket and scare people," Karen said. "Nobody's scaring you," Lisa said. "You called us a threat." Karen took a step toward Lisa. "Kirby," the officer said, shifting half a stride to block the lane of heat between them. "Please." Karen exhaled, moved one shoe length, then another. Fine, do your report. It's done, he said, pen pausing. No arrests, no hazard observed. You'll hear from the board, Karen said, jabbing her finger at the yellow notice like a gavel. Non-compliance has consequences. Paper beats noise, I said. Karen frowned. What? Nothing, I said. See you tonight. She lifted her phone again, filming us now. The sun put a hard edge on everything: the badge, the cruiser, the thin shine on Karen's sunglasses. Lisa tucked the mail beneath her arm and looked at me. Save the footage, she said quietly. Already saving, I said, thumb moving. Tagging the incident number. Export the timestamp, she said. Synced, I said. 0914 and 0917. PDF if the notice, she added. I snapped a photo. The paper shivered against the metal post. In the distance, the flag at the clubhouse hung still as a held breath. Karen lowered her phone. This isn't over, she said. It can be, Lisa said. Stop weaponizing policy. We'll see what the board thinks, Karen said. Put that in writing too, I said. The officer cleared his throat, professional and tired. He looked from Karen to Lisa, then to me, and his voice clipped into the record with a tiny click of his pen. Ma'am, he said to Karen, the badge is real. We'll need your statement under penalty of false reporting. She filed a violation to cover that 911 call, I said, holding my phone up to the clubhouse glass. Inside, the Silver Ridge clubhouse hummed with air conditioning and low conversation. A digital board scrolled agenda: security concerns, violations, new business over a glossy wood table. Lisa touched my sleeve. We keep it measured, paper only. Karen was already seated at the head tablet, propped on a folio like a lectern. 3 board members flanked her 2 retirees with tidy binders and a woman in a blue suit I pegged for counsel. A stack of printouts sat dead center. Meeting will come to order, Karen said, tapping a pen. We have an urgent item: security breach. A few residents shifted on folding chairs. I felt them looking without looking. Mr. and Mrs. Haynes, Karen said, eyes cool. You may sit. You'll have a chance to respond. We're here for the record, Lisa said. The lawyer adjusted her glasses. Please state your names for the minutes. Jack Haynes, I said. Deputy U.S. Marshal Lisa Haynes. Off duty, Lisa said, enunciating every ridge of the words. Karen slid the top sheet forward with 2 fingers. Security breach report. She lifted it so the board could see. Unknown, female non-resident refused HOA direction, causing alarm to a duly elected officer. That's a false frame, I said. Karen didn't look at me. The board will review. Lisa leaned slightly forward. Before you start, note your own words: unknown female non-resident. That is factually wrong and now preserved. Karen's smile didn't reach her eyes. Your assertion is noted. The lawyer cleared her throat. Let's proceed. Karen nodded to a board member. Read the summary. He did, voice steady. Caller reported trespass near mail cluster. Subject failed to comply. Patrol responded. Lisa raised a hand and found no hazard. That is in the county incident log. That log is outside HOA scope, Karen said. Lisa placed a slim folder on the table and eased out a single sheet. Not when you're using the HOA to launder a misuse of 911. A couple heads turned. The room's hum thinned. Karen's pen ticked against the paper. Excuse me. Misuse of 911 is criminal, not civil, Lisa said. You don't get to convert it to an infraction because it embarrassed you. The lawyer folded her hands. We're not adjudicating criminal law. We're documenting a policy matter. Then document this, Lisa said, sliding the page halfway across the table. Incident report, request, County Sheriff Case RM 2025-0914. A 3-second silent beat fell. The pen stopped. A light hum from the projector filled the gap. Karen recovered. Your tone is unnecessary. My tone is precise, Lisa said. The call occurred at 0914. The officer's body cam synced at 0917. Our address is 2117 Willow Bend. All of that is verifiable, and your so-called unknown female is a federal officer who lives here. We'll verify residency through our channels, Karen said. You waved at me. Thursday, I said. That's not the point, Karen said. It's exactly the point Lisa said. You knew who I was. You escalated anyway. Now you're filing a violation to cover that 911 call. Put that sentence in your minutes. Word for word. Murmurs. A chair squeaked. The lawyer shifted, then composed herself, Mrs. Haynes, the board may accept your document into the record. Please place it on the table. Lisa didn't move. I'll place it when you confirm the title aloud. The lawyer glanced at Karen. Karen's jaw flexed. Fine. Incident report, request county, sheriff case, RM 2025-0914. Lisa set the page down with 2 fingers. The paper made a sound like a small door closing. Karen lifted the security breach report again. Our duty is safety. Your presence at the mail cluster, our mailbox, I said. Created uncertainty, Karen finished. Residents are on edge. Residents are on edge because you put them there, I said. Mr. Haynes, the lawyer said, please. Put this in your policy, Lisa said. 911 is for fires, crimes, medical emergencies. Not for a neighbor at her own mailbox. A board member glanced at the digital screen. The word security glowed a stuttered white. Outside the glass, the flag over the clubhouse barely moved. Karen stapled something with a sharp click. We have authority under the covenants to issue violations for non-compliance. Lisa nodded. And the state has authority to address misuse of emergency services. Which authority do you want to test? The lawyer sighed quietly. All right. Both documents will be entered for review, security breach report and incident report request. Say the times. Lisa said. 09:14 and 09:17. The lawyer said, reading from the page. Good, Lisa said. Accuracy helps. Karen placed a pen square to the report and poised it over a signature line. It hovered. 1, 2, 3 beats. Pen shaking, I asked. Karen pressed the nib to the page. The ink didn't catch at first. Dam Che 911 Bang Bin Bana resident whispered near the back. The words weren't English, but the meaning landed. Heads turned. Karen's pen finally moved. The lawyer looked up. We will refrain from commentary from the gallery. Let him speak, I said. We have rules, Karen said. You keep saying that I said. Lisa kept her eyes on the page. Under penalty of perjury, the county will confirm the call details. We'll send them your report as an attachment. Transparency helps everyone. Karen's smile reappeared thinner. We'll handle it. Lisa lifted a finger. Say the last word carefully. Karen let the pen drop to the table with a faint clack. Internally, a groan rippled in the room. The digital board advanced to new business and then flicked back as if the system didn't believe the change either. Thank you, the lawyer said, stacking the 2 documents and aligning the edges until they were perfect. Lisa nodded once. Make sure the minutes reflect that the incident report request was received and that the officer verified my credentials at scene. Otherwise, I'll read the correction next meeting. Karen gathered her folio. We'll handle it internally, she repeated colder. Exactly what I expected you to say, I said. Tom Riker showed up at my garage with a 6-pack of lemon soda and the posture of a man who'd stood at too many briefings. Paper beats noise, son, he said, sliding the bottles onto my tool bench. You don't outshout a system, you outfile it. The fan thumped a slow circle overhead. Motor oil, pine sawdust, cold, metal. Our house perfume. Lisa sat on the stool by the Vice hair-up phone face down like a holstered thing. You watched the body cam, I asked. Tom nodded once. Twice. You kept yourselves clean. Now we document until the ink runs out. Lisa tapped the badge case with one knuckle. HOA placed a security breach report on the agenda to cover the 911 call. Good, Tom said. That means they've made an assertion. Assertions are handles. You can pick them up. He pulled a dog-eared folder from his back pocket and flattened it on the bench. Inside were templates, county logos, lines for case numbers, places that wanted times and signatures like they were oxygen. Start with a dispatch log request, Tom said. Exact form, name, exact incident number. RM 2025-0914. Ask for audio and CAD history. You also want the unit roster and response codes. They hate giving those. Ask anyway. Lisa had a pen out before the sentence finished. What about the officer's camera? Body cam is county, Tom said. Different channel. That's your incident report request plus a Brady Sargiglio line. Keep it dry. No adjectives. They read attitudes and punish them. He leaned over my shoulder, smelled faintly of diesel and peppermint. Write it like you expect to read it into a room with a seal on the wall. I set my hands to the keys. The clack of them settled me. Requester, Haynes. Lisa, Deputy, U.S. Marshal off duty. Incident, RM 2025-0914. Times, 09:14. Callsar 09:17. Body cam, sync, request, CAD. Audio unit, roster, narrative. Body cam, index, short lines Tom said. They scan, not read. Lisa looked up. What about the HOA record parallel track? Tom said. Send them a formal notice of records request for the minutes, the draft security breach report, and any communications with counsel about it. They'll scream, confidential, I said. Tom shrugged easy as a wrench. Let them. Good paper often starts with numbered judges, like seeing how many times you tried to do it right. The fan clicked silent beat like a metronome, reminding us this was a score to keep. Lisa signed the county requests with a neat block signature. Print and scan, she said. I fed pages through the all-in-one and watched the green light walk across the glass. A truck down on Willow Bend hauled its brakes. Somewhere a mower coughed to life. Tom tapped the screen. Email to the sheriff's records address and CC the general counsel mailbox. BCC yourself, and include the phrase received for processing in the subject. It gets you into their automation. Old habits, I asked. Veteran habits, he said. FOAA with calluses. Lisa's phone buzzed. She read and exhaled through her nose. HOA, reply to our minutes request confidential. Tom didn't blink. Perfect. Then federal it is. Lisa smiled without showing teeth. You want me to cite 18 U.S.C. misuses of emergency services? 2 sentences, Tom said. No sermon. Remember your audience board staffers and 1 smart lawyer. I typed as she dictated. This request relates to potential misuse of emergency services. We intend to share accurate records with county to prevent future misuse. Please confirm receipt. Attach the meeting photo. Tom said, the one with agenda glowing behind Karen. Don't annotate. Let the pixels do the work. I added the JPEG. The bench hummed under my wrists. Now a simple preservation notice, Tom said, handing me a template with his slanted notes. Sentences 3 and 4 are the teeth. Lisa read aloud. Please preserve all audio, video, body cam emails, texts, and internal chat relating to RM 2025-0914 and to unknown female non-resident characterizations. This includes personal devices used for HOA business. Tom's eyes half smiled. People forget the last part. Sent, I said. He rested his forearms on the bench and stared into the fan's lazy blades. Listen, Jack. Boards run on confidence. Break the false parts of that and the honest parts can start moving again. Do we go to the press? I asked. Not yet, he said. Let the record mature. You've got a professional in the house. He nodded toward Lisa. Use her training. Lisa picked up the incident report request and flicked the corner. We also ask for CAD disposition codes, she said. I want that no hazard observed line in their own language. Tom drummed a slow beat on the bench with a 10mm socket silent beat, then pointed to my laptop. Open a folder tree. Name it Clubhouse Hearing. Subfolders, County HOA Media. Every file starts with date time case. You will thank yourselves later. I built the tree. It looked like a scaffold you could climb out of something with. Lisa's email pinged again. She read, then handed me the phone. HOA doubled down. Confidential again. They'll provide summaries when appropriate. Summaries are where truth goes to retire, Tom said. He slid a manila envelope from his folder and set it next to the lemon soda. If they stall more than 72 hours, this goes to the county attorney. It's a letter I keep warm, request to review, possible misuse of emergency services by HOA officer. Replace names, replace time, replace nothing else. I tried not to grin. You keep that on you, I keep lots of things on me, said, and for a moment the garage held two wars at once. The one you fight with paper, and the one you carry back from places no one lists on a community bulletin board. Lisa's cursor hovered over send on the county email. Ready. Do it, Tom said. She clicked. The little whoosh felt bigger than it should have. The first message came back fast, a dull server auto-reply. Received for processing. Good, Tom said. Now, mark a calendar for 10 business days. That's their window. I dragged my finger through sawdust and wrote 10 on the bench, then wiped it away. What about tonight's board minutes? Take a clean legal pad, Tom said. Sit in the front row. When they say something wrong, you don't bark. You write. If they skip the call in the minutes, you read the incident number into the record during comments. Lisa stood, gathered the requests into a tidy stack, and squared the edges with a firm tap. We're done here. Tom reached for a rubber mallet and let it drop once on the bench. Thunk. We're starting here, he looked at me. They wanted a paper war, Jack. I felt the fan's breath on the back of my neck slow and steady as the sound of a distant pump. They wanted a paper war. They just got one. The envelope in our mailbox wasn't even sealed, just a scrap of tape holding a thumb drive to an index card that said in block letters, "Watch this." Lisa stood by the porch light, heat still coming off the concrete. Feels like bait, she said. Or evidence, I said. Depends who sent it. We went inside. The house glowed amber from the kitchen light, the ceiling fan turning in slow, uneven circles. I set the drive on the counter, the metal catching a sliver of sunset. Lisa crossed her arms. Plug it in. Let's see what ghost we're dealing with. I slid it into the laptop. The fan ticked one silent beat before the drive mounted. One file. Timestamp 09/17/06. Lisa exhaled through her nose. That's the same minute as the officer's sink. I clicked play. At first, just pavement, the lens bouncing. Then the camera steadied and our street came into view. The body cam mic picked up breath footsteps and Karen's voice sharp and sure. Arrest her now. She shouted it before anything, before names, before the badge. The camera tilted, catching Lisa at the mailbox, mail in hand, calm as always. Ma'am, step back, Officer Mason said. Arrest her, Karen snapped. She's refusing direction from the HOA. From you, he asked. I'm the president, she said. That's authority. The badge flashed next to Lisa's leather case, flipping open. The metal seal caught the sun like it had been waiting its whole life to shine. The officer's tone softened. Understood, ma'am. Karen froze mid-step. That's fake. Lisa's voice on the recording was the same steady rhythm I'd heard for years. It's real enough to arrest you if you keep misusing 911. We let the video run. It ended with the officer's line clear as a gavel, HOA rules don't supersede state law. When the clip stopped, the fan still hummed over us. Lisa leaned forward. That's proof. Proof that she lied, I said. No, Lisa said. Proof that she believed she could. The difference sat between us like a loaded file. I copied the video to a clean folder named Clubhouse Hearing Evidence. What now, I asked. Lisa already had her phone. We sent it to Chief Davis. Chain of custody first, then the board. Both I asked. Transparency is armor, she said. I drafted the email. Subject body cam clip, RM 2025-0914. Timestamp 09/17/06. Body, attached file, received anonymously. Request confirmation of authenticity and retention. Forwarding to HOA for awareness. Jack and Lisa Haynes. Lisa read it, nodded once. Send. The whoosh was soft, almost polite. 10 minutes later, the chief replied, "Received," confirming authenticity. "Retention active. Do not distribute until verification complete." D. Davis. Lisa leaned against the counter. "We're covered." "Barely," I said. The porch light clicked on automatically. Moths began their slow orbit. The laptop screen glowed blue-white, frozen on Karen's open mouth the instant before consequence. A new message popped up. HOA Board. Karen's name in bold. Distributing police footage without authorization violates privacy. Cease immediately or face legal action. K. Duvall, President. Legal action, I said. She just admitted it's police footage. Lisa smiled thinly. "Archive that." I dragged it into the HOA folder and tagged it admission phrasing. Another ping followed a single line from board member Tom Ellis. "Please tell me this is out of context." Then another unsigned 911 isn't a toy. "They're cracking," Lisa said. "Keep collecting." I refreshed the HOA forum. Threads bloomed like mold after rain. "If she's a marshal, why get mail like us? I saw the clip. HOA's in trouble. Stop filming your neighbors." Each one a spark in dry grass. Then came another email from Marla Green, the HOA's lawyer. "Provide the source of the footage. Stop sharing immediately. Your actions may constitute harassment. M. Sear Green, Esk." Lisa replied instantly. Source delivered anonymously. Verified with law enforcement. Any further questions, contact Chief Davis. Her fingers moved with the precision of paperwork and patience. "You're enjoying this," I said. "I'm enjoying procedure," she said. "It's cleaner than revenge." The kitchen clock clicked. The fan made another slow turn. Outside, someone's sprinkler came on a hiss under the window. The chief emailed again, this time from his personal line, "Clip authentic. Sequence matches patrol log. Retain copy for records." D. Davis. Lisa closed her eyes for a second, relief measured in heartbeats. "We've got confirmation. It's real." I stared at the USB on the counter, that small silver tooth of truth. "So, what now?" "We forward the chief's note to the board," she said. "No commentary. Facts only." I sent it. Then I scrolled the HOA forum again. A new headline blinked, "Official Statement on Security Concerns." Karen's post read like a speech typed through clenched teeth. "Certain individuals are circulating sensitive materials to embarrass the HOA. We condemn harassment and will handle this internally." "That word again," I said. "Internally." She loves that word. "Internal means quiet," Lisa said. "We'll make it public." "How?" I asked. "The clip's public enough," she said. "You can't unring a bell." Outside, a car door slammed. Somewhere a dog barked once, then stopped. The air felt thin, electric. Another ping. Karen again, no subject line this time. "This is harassment. You people will regret it. Remove all emails. Delete everything now." Lisa typed 2 words. "Received noted." Then she looked at me. That's her last calm one. The house settled around us. The fan ticked once more. On screen, the paused frame showed Karen mid-shout, arm-lifted authority leaking out like air from a punctured tire. Lisa folded her arms. She wanted control. Now she has attention. She wanted quiet, I said. Now she's the headline. We sat a moment longer, listening to the hum of the laptop cooling fan, the single mechanical breath of a system doing what systems do. Record, store, remember. When I finally unplugged the USB, it felt lighter than it should have, like it had already done its job. Outside, the street was empty. Inside, the evidence glowed on our screen, truth in 720p. The folding chairs clattered against the clubhouse floor, echoing through the hall like a warm-up to Judgment Day. Thursday night in Silver Ridge wasn't supposed to feel like a courtroom, but the air said otherwise, thick, dry waiting. 100 neighbors filled the room, their faces lit by the projector's pale glow. Karen sat front and center at the long table, her posture military straight. To her right was Marla Green, HOA attorney, her binder stacked with color-coded tabs. Behind them, the community flag hung limp. Across the room, Lisa sat beside me, steady, unreadable. Her badge wasn't on display, but authority still hummed around her like static. At the back, Chief Davis stood by the door, arms folded. Just his presence made the whispers settle. Karen tapped the microphone. "This meeting is called to order. We'll address the false reports being circulated by certain residents." Her voice carried the same brittle edge as the notice she'd once taped to our mailbox. I stood. "Jack Haynes, Lot 2 and 17. I said. "I have one request." Karen's eyes narrowed. "Go ahead. Let's play the tape." The sentence rolled through the room like a thunderclap. You could almost hear the neighbors turn their heads in unison. Marla leaned toward Karen. "If the chief verified authenticity," she whispered, "we can't suppress it." Karen hesitated. "Fine," she said finally. Briefly. Chief Davis stepped forward. "For the record," he said, "the footage is real. Captured, Yo9, 17 a.m., Silver Ridge Drive, confirmed chain of custody." The volunteer dimmed the lights. The projector hummed louder, a steady tremor beneath the hush. Then came the image asphalt glare, the sound of desert wind. A voice filled the clubhouse, Karen's sharp and unmistakable. "Arrest her now." A ripple passed through the crowd. People recognized the street, the houses, the day. The camera swung Lisa calm at the mailbox, mail in hand. Then the flash of silver, the badge opening in her palm. "She's refusing direction," Karen barked on screen. From who, the officer asked. "From me. I'm the president." A collective intake of breath. Then the officer's reply landed clean as law. HOA rules don't supersede state law. The projector light washed over Karen's real face now, same eyes, same mouth frozen on the screen behind her. Lisa rose slowly. "You called the law," she said, voice level and low, and the law answered. For a beat, nobody moved. Then came the sound applause, hesitant at first, then full. Folding chairs rattled against the tile like percussion. Karen tried to lift her chin. "This footage lacks context," she said. Chief Davis's tone stayed calm. "The context is a false emergency call. No threat, no crime, no justification." A man near the back, veteran ball cap pulled low, said quietly, "That's not authority. That's ego." Marla straightened. "The board regrets the misunderstanding," she said. "We'll review procedures." A woman from the side row spoke up. "You don't review lying to the police. You apologize for it." Applause again. Someone muttered, "About time," and another voice, older gravelly, added. Finally, someone fought back. That broke something open. Karen slammed her folder shut. "Order," she shouted. "This is still my meeting." "No," said a man near the aisle, standing. "It's our neighborhood." Lisa walked closer to the microphone. "I've served warrants across the state," she said. "Never saw courage in a clipboard. Just remember, rules protect people when they're fair, not when they're used as weapons." The projector flickered and the recording replayed its final line, "HOA, rules don't supersede state law." Even the machine seemed to agree. Marla leaned back, avoiding Karen's glance. "We may need a statement," she said under her breath. Karen didn't respond. Her hands trembled faintly as she shuffled papers that no longer mattered. A resident pointed toward the front. "You embarrassed all of us," he said quietly. "We pay dues for order, not arrogance." Another stood beside him. "I moved here for peace," she said. "Not to watch the board attack its own." The room buzzed with something close to unity, rare currency in an HOA. Chief Davis cleared his throat. "For the record, misuse of 911 is criminal," he said. "We've logged the call, reviewed the tape, and closed the case." The silence afterward was heavy but clean, like dust after rain. Karen stood abruptly. Her binder slipped from her arm, lock-check papers fanning across the floor. She crouched to gather them, her composure breaking in small, visible tremors. A volunteer stooped to help. She waved him off. When she rose, her voice cracked. "This meeting is adjourned." She turned heels, echoing on the tile, and walked out through the side door. One last sheet fluttered from her grasp, sliding across the laminate toward the projector stand. The screen went blank. The projector gave a soft click, and stopped silent beat, leaving only the rustle of chairs and the sound of people breathing together for the first time in months. Lisa leaned close and whispered, "Truth doesn't need to shout." I nodded. "No," I said. "It just needs a replay button." Subject line: Emergency session, 7:30 p.m., without President Duvall. The email hit at 6:11, cold as a stamped notice. 2 minutes later, another arrived from Marla Green-esque. "Please come to my office at 7:00. We prefer resolution." Lisa read both twice. "They're moving without her," she said. We drove across town as the desert dimmed to metal blue. Marla's suite sat in a low-block building with too much glass and not enough mercy. Inside, white light washed everything, the carpet colorless, the conference table a slab of mirror. Marla stood when we entered. "Thank you for coming." Her voice carried the careful weight of someone paid to carry weight. A laptop waited at the head of the table, a ring light clipped to its lid. "Who else is here?" Lisa asked. "The board will join by phone at 7:30, Marla said. "President Duvall is not attending the session. She'll appear briefly by video to read a statement." Lisa set her folder down. "We're not here for private regret. We're here to end a spectacle," Marla said softly. "No one benefits from escalation. Accuracy benefits everyone," Lisa said. Marla gestured to the chairs. We sat. The room hummed with air conditioning and the faint buzz of fluorescent tubes. For a moment, no one spoke. Silent beat. Somewhere down the hall, a copier started and stopped like a cough. Marla folded her hands. "I'll be direct. The board is prepared to issue a written apology to you, Ms. Haynes, and to the community acknowledging that the incident did not warrant a 911 call. In exchange, we ask you to refrain from further distribution of the body cam clip and to accept a closed disciplinary process for Ms. Duvall." Lisa didn't blink. "Closed to whom?" residents, Marla said, "and ideally to the press." "That's not accountability," Lisa said. "That's a tarp." Marla sighed through her nose. "You have your dignity. The board has a neighborhood to protect." "From truth?" I asked. "From ruin," Marla said. Lisa opened her folder and slid a single page toward Marla. "Settlement letter. Draft. Read it." Marla scanned, eyes narrowing at each clause. 1. Admission. The board acknowledges that President Duvall's 0914 call to 911 mischaracterized a non-emergency. 2. Minutes correction. The board will amend prior minutes to reflect the call the officers no hazard observed and the playback at the public hearing. 3. Public statement. A signed apology to residents and to Ms. Haynes posted and emailed within 24 hours. 4. Policy adoption of a misuse of emergency services policy. Mandatory training. Prohibition on using HOA authority to initiate law enforcement action absent a bona fide emergency. 5. Discipline censure entered into the record. Resignation or removal vote scheduled pursuant to bylaws. 6. Transparency. The letter and vote shall be public. Marla looked up. "You want a confession?" "We want a correction," Lisa said. "On paper." The laptop chimed. Marla tapped a key. Karen's face bloomed into the ring light eyes, rimmed red makeup, careful the room behind her neutral, like a staged rental. "Am I on?" Karen asked. "You're on," Marla said. "Keep it brief." Karen swallowed. "To the board and to my neighbors," her voice caught. "I never meant to harm her. I was trying to keep us safe." Lisa leaned toward the mic. "You called the law on a neighbor at her mailbox." The law answered. Karen's mouth trembled. "I've given years to this place. People expect me to act. They expect you to judge." "Well," Lisa said, "and to admit when you didn't." Karen looked down. "If I apologize, will this?" She gestured vaguely. "Stop," Marla cut in. "That depends on terms." Lisa slid the draft letter into view of the camera. "Read the headings." Karen glanced, then shook her head. "Public discipline." "You're asking me to be humiliated." Lisa's tone stayed even. "We're asking the board to be honest on the record. This isn't about humiliation. It's about repair." Karen's image froze for a heartbeat, then resumed. I can't." She wiped at one eye. "I'm not the villain you want." "We don't want a villain," I said. "We want neighbors again." The call went quiet. Marla muted her and turned back to us. "You've made your point. The board will sign an apology. But the discipline language stays," Lisa said. Marla held my gaze. Then Lisa's. Something settled in her shoulders like a weight finally allowed to be heavy. "Let me call them in." She dialed a bridge line and put it on speaker. Voices joined Ellis Patel Monroe board members. Marla summarized the draft. There was a long exhale on the line, and then Ellis said, tired and clear, "We should have done this at the hearing." "Motion to approve the letter as read," Patel said. Second, Monroe said. "All in favor?" Marla asked. "Aye," they said one by one. No dissent. Marla printed the letter. The machine warmed, clicked, and delivered each page with a precise little snare drum of plastic. She set the packet on the table and uncapped a black pen. "Sign," Lisa said. Marla signed for the board as counsel, then slid the pen to me. Witness, I signed. Lisa signed. The pen tip whispered across the paper, then clicked back into its cap with the finality of a latch. The sound landed like a verdict. Marla exhaled. "You'll receive the public posting by noon tomorrow." Lisa gathered her copy and tucked it into her folder. "Include the minutes correction and the training schedule. 1 page, clear dates." Marla nodded. "Understood." We stood. The room felt larger by a fraction, as if light had found a way to move. Karen's image remained on the laptop, unmuted again, smaller now. "What happens to me?" she asked, voice thin. Lisa's answer was gentle and exact. "The federal report will note your cooperation." Karen pressed her lips together, nodded once, and reached forward. The screen went dark. The diner radio said it first over the clink of mugs and the hiss of bacon, and in local news the HOA case closes today. A couple in a corner booth looked up like they'd heard thunder from a clear sky. Lisa slid our check toward the counter, eyes steady. My phone buzzed. "Agent Cole, City Hall. 10:00. Bring your notes." We walked the 3 blocks under a flag that cracked in the dry breeze. City Hall's steps held the quiet of a library before opening. Inside the seal on the wall, U.S. Marshal Service caught sunlight like a blade. Agent Cole waited in a small conference room jacket off sleeves neat. Chief Davis stood by the window with a folder. A printer sat on a side table dormant and ready. "Morning," Cole said. "Let's make a clean ending." He placed a thin stack of pages on the table, centered them with one precise tap. Federal Report, RM 2025-0914. Findings and Recommendations. I took a chair. Lisa stayed on her feet as if testimony needed posture. Cole glanced to Chief Davis, who nodded once. Section 1, Cole said. Summary. A homeowners association officer initiated a 911 call for a non-emergency. A responding officer confirmed no hazard observed. Body cam corroborated the sequence. He turned a page. The printer coughed to life, then paused, silent beat, as if honoring the room. Section 2, Cole continued. Administrative cautions. Ms. Duvall receives a formal warning for misuse of emergency services recorded with the county. Required training on public safety interfaces. Chief Davis added county has already scheduled the class. Mandatory, no waivers. Section 3, Cole said. Civil remedies. HOA assessed a civil penalty for procedural abuse and required to adopt a policy limiting board-initiated calls to bona fide emergencies. Minutes must reflect the correction. He slid a copy to Lisa. She read, without hurry, mouth set, not hard, just sure. Cole looked at me. We don't often get clean lines like this. You kept it clean. I nodded. We had help. Tom Riker's advice sat between us like a tool you set down but keep within reach. Paper beats noise. Cole turned another page. Section 4. Community Remedy. The board, now seated without Ms. Duvall, will publish a formal apology and host an open training session using this case as a case study. That was our ask, I said. If they learn it, they own it. Lisa tapped the page once. Make the training public. Residents need to hear it said out loud. Chief Davis said, "We can hold it here or at the clubhouse. County prefers City Hall." Cole nodded. "Here keeps the air clear." He set his pen on the last page. Before signature any additions, I thought of the folding chairs the projectors hum, a neighborhood choosing to breathe together. One note I said, "Include a line that this report may be shared with other associations as a model." Cole wrote, "Recommended as training material." Sometimes Justice doesn't shout, he said, it files the paperwork. Lisa smiled, brief and honest. That's the kind that stays. The door opened, and 3 of the new board members stepped in hats in hand like men at a courthouse wedding. Ellis, Patel, Monroe. Faces I knew now by the way relief sits on a jaw. "Apologies for the delay," Ellis said. "We came to answer questions." Cole gestured to the end of the table. "Have a seat. You're in the recommendations, not the findings." Monroe exhaled. "Fair." Cole read the conclusion aloud so it would live in the room and not just on paper. The Silver Ridge case demonstrates how quasi-governmental authority can drift when untethered from actual law. Remedy, documentation, transparency training, and a public record that admits error. He picked up the pen. The printer woke and pushed the final page. Case closed with a clean mechanical breath. Silent beat. Cole signed. Chief Davis added his name beneath. Ellis cleared his throat. "We'll post our apology by noon," he said. "Training next Tuesday. Public invite, include the minutes correction Lisa said, and the policy text. Short plain language." "Plain as fence paint," Patel said, and for the first time in weeks the metaphor didn't sting. Cole slid a copy of the signed report across to me. "Jack, he said you suggested we use this as a template. We will. HOA boards like checklists." "They like authority more," I said. "Then give them a better one," Cole said. "Written boundaries." Lisa turned to the new board. "Use the clip at the training, the whole minute. People need to see how fast it happens, how quickly certainty outruns judgment." Ellis nodded. "We've been that fast before. No more." Chief Davis collected the spare copies, tucked them into a manila envelope, then looked at Lisa. "You handled this like a pro." He caught himself, half-smiled. "You are a pro." Lisa didn't preen. She didn't need to. "We're neighbors first?" Cole capped his pen. "Anything else?" I raised a hand. "A small request. When you post the report, keep the door open afterward. 10 minutes. No speeches, just questions." "Done," Cole said. "We'll keep the chairs." We stood. The room shifted back to ordinary table walls, a beat-up printer that had done its duty. Out in the hallway, the flag brushed the air conditioner current. On the steps of City Hall, sunlight struck metal. The badge on Lisa's belt caught it clean, throwing a small bright square onto the glass in the door. A passerby paused not to salute, just to notice. Behind us, Cole locked the file with a practiced motion. Sometimes, he said, the best victory is a room that empties quietly. I looked at the glass at the square of light riding the door like a promise. "Quiet's good," I said. "It means the paperwork held." They pinned it right next to the bulletin about lawn colors. The desert morning was mild for once, wind soft against the diner's metal sign. The community bulletin board outside the cafe had been there since the first mailboxes went up. Cork glass faded notices, and now at its center gleamed something new. A white sheet with a blue HOA seal. Silver Ridge, Homeowners Association. Public apology and policy notice. We acknowledge a misuse of emergency services by the former president on 09/14. We regret the distress caused to residents, especially Ms. Lisa Haynes. Effective immediately, 1 minutes corrected. 2009-11 policy adopted. 3 trainings scheduled. 4 censure entered. 5 residents' rights affirmed. The paper looked almost ceremonial. Edges squared a small American flag sticker pressed to one corner. Beneath it hung a clipboard labeled Comments. Tom Riker appeared with 2 coffees. "Well," he said, "they finally used the bulletin board for something that matters." "Progress," I said. Lisa scanned the letter line by line. Her expression didn't change, but her shoulders loosened just slightly, the way a professional allows herself to breathe after a case file closes. "Karen's gone," Tom asked. Moved last week, Lisa said. Left the keys with Marla. Tom nodded. Not everyone gets justice this clean. Clean's relative, I said, but it's on paper. Across the lot, 2 neighbors slowed their morning walk to read. One murmured, "About time." Another raised a phone, snapping a photo like evidence of something restored. Inside the diner, the radio hummed low. Local weather pancake specials, no scandals. The sound folded neatly around the silence outside. The HOA volunteer stepped from a golf cart, holding a staple gun and a folder of duplicate copies. Posting the signed version, he said, cheerful but careful. He unlocked the glass door, straightened the letter, and fired a staple. Tack. The sound hit the air and paused there, silent beat 3 seconds long before the second staple sealed it in place. Lisa smiled faintly. That's the right kind of click. Tom raised his cup. To boring paperwork and quiet mornings. Best kind of victory, I said. We walked home together. The neighborhood looked ordinary again. Sprinklers misted the sidewalks. A dog barked without urgency. The gate sensor beeped once when we pulled in, just doing its job. In the garage, light came through the side window in a clean rectangle. The tool bench waited, smelling of pine oil and the month behind us. Lisa took a clear sleeve from a folder, our copy of the apology letter signed in blue ink initials along the bottom margin. She tacked it next to the printout of Case Closed from City Hall. "1/4 inch left," Tom said automatically, like a reflex from decades of carpentry. Lisa adjusted, pressed the staple gun, and fired tack. The sound was the full stop on a long sentence. The 3 of us stood there for a moment, facing the wall, the badge case below the letter above the past arranged into order. Tom cleared his throat. "Paper beats noise," he said softly. "Guess you proved it." Lisa touched the corner of the letter. "Truth needs nails," she said. Outside, a delivery truck rattled past toward the diner. The bell above the door rang twice, friendly, ordinary. My phone buzzed. A message from Agent Cole Training confirmed City Hall open session. Another from Chief Davis report shared with other HOA's model case. Lisa read over my shoulder. "Echo," she said. Tom smiled. "Legacy." We stepped back out into the morning. The board gleamed in the light, the apology page held steady by its 2 staples. A neighbor with a toddler stroller stopped to read. She looked up and waved. "Glad it's over," she said. "It's not over," Lisa said kindly. "It's better." The woman smiled. "Good enough." We watched her go. At home, the garage light clicked off, leaving the letter and the badge in twin reflections of the same sun. The quiet that followed wasn't empty, it was earned. Lisa looked at me, the faintest grin rising. "You still think paper's boring?" "Only until it wins," I said. She turned back to the bench, the sunlight brushing her uniform sleeve. Her voice was steady, final, almost gentle. Finally, she said. I answered her the line belonging to both of us, now echo and legacy in one breath. Finally, someone fought back lawfully. The morning sun caught the blue HOA seal pinned behind the diner's glass board, its paper still crisp from yesterday's post. People stopped to read, nodded, moved on. No ceremony, just quiet order restored. I brushed a finger across the copy in my garage, the staple cool under my thumb. Justice had come without noise. It arrived printed, signed, and posted for all to see. We didn't win by shouting, we won by standing steady until the truth held. Finally, someone fought back. Share your HOA story below your map might help someone redraw theirs.